welcome back. If it's your first time on my channel, then welcome. Today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys all of my tips on how to grow on social media, how to get PR, about my camera settings, everything that I know I'm going to be sharing with you guys in today's video. And hopefully it can teach you guys some tips and tricks. Hopefully it can help you learn, help you grow, help you get on those PR lists. I'll give you all my tips, so why don't we go ahead and get started. For so long. I'm always getting so many questions just regarding so many things when it comes to social media. I've been on Instagram and YouTube now for 3 years now and YouTube for 2 years, and I feel like I've picked up quite a few tips along my journey. I've learned a lot. And I want to be able to share that with you guys. I'm always one of those people who wants to give my advice. I believe that we can grow together. I don't think that there's anything wrong with telling you guys what I've learned. I definitely want you guys to grow as well. And even if you're not someone who is looking to do this as a full-time job or anything like that, maybe you'll still find this video fascinating in some way to kind of see a little insight into what it looks like behind the scenes. So I'm going to be talking to you guys all about how to get paid on social media tips that I do have to grow. Also PR lists, I'm going to tell you guys how to get on those or how to kind of deal with that area. I'm going to tell you guys about my camera settings, growing your channel in general. We're going to talk a little bit about negativity, and then also I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my editing, how I edit and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and get started without further ado. I really hate it when people say further ado, and I just said it. Anyways, so up first, the first thing I want to talk about is how to grow on social media if you are just starting out, kind of what social media is, what to expect, things like that. So I'm in the beauty space. I do beauty videos on YouTube and on Instagram, so that's kind of my niche. I definitely think it is important to find your niche on the social media space. I think that you need to figure out whatever you are most into. If that is cats, then you post about cats. If you're into tech, you're going to do a tech channel. Make sure you're posting just about tech. If it is going to be beauty, then make sure you're sticking to beauty. You don't hardly ever see me posting pictures of like my family, my boyfriend, my cats, anything like that, unless if it's going to be on stories. I'm not posting that on my feed because what people are following you is to see your content in beauty. So if you decide what you want to post, what you want to get into, then obviously at some point, once you grow a little bit more, you can kind of start to incorporate more things like that. But in the beginning, I definitely recommend that you stick to your niche, stick to your lane, and just kind of keep your page cohesive when it comes to what you are doing. And I have so many tips when it comes to just like tips for Instagram in general on how to grow, things like that. I've made 2 separate videos on tips that I do have that I think have really helped me grow my Instagram account. I will have both of those videos linked down below. I don't want to keep like repeating myself pretty much in these videos because they are a lot of the same tips that I do have. If you want to reference those videos, you can, but I'll kind of just throw in a few of the tips that I do have that I kind of feel are the most important when it comes to Instagram, when it comes to YouTube. The number one key is obviously you're going to create a theme, and then the next key is going to be to post. I cannot tell you guys how many people come to me daily in my DMs, they message me and they say, why am I not growing? Or I want to get on PR lists, or I want to do that. And then I look at their feed and they have like 2 pictures, or they haven't posted in 6 weeks or 3 weeks. You guys have to be consistent on social media. It is something that you need to be posting to daily. If you're not posting daily, then you need to be posting like every other day. It is definitely a dedication that it takes to do this. I am doing this now full time, and for me, when I really started to grow and be able to do this full time is when I really put in the work. And honestly, you guys, it's a lot of work to post daily. You have to be committed, and you have to really just give yourself that time to film, give yourself that time to edit. It really is kind of a self-control thing. Like, you really just have to decide what works best for you, when you can film, if you are working or you're a full-time student or something like that. I did work full-time when I started this, and I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning filming, editing, things like that. You kind of just have to find the time when you can, but you have to be posting in order to see the growth. So consistency, I think, is really key with anything. I post once a day, every single day on Instagram. I actually the day that Instagram shut down a couple weeks ago, that was the first day I'd missed in 2 years, you guys, of posting. Like, that's how much I post to Instagram every single day. I typically post at the same time every single day. I think that that's what works best for me, and I find that that's when I'm seeing my friends grow and things like that, is when they're consistently posting. So if you're not posting, you're not really going to be growing, because no one else is going to be seeing your content. You need to be posting in order to get it pushed out there, so where more people can see you and they want to follow you. Also, if they're following you and you're not really posting anything, then that's kind of a drawback too, because they followed you for a reason, you know? Another big one is obviously going to be using your hashtags and also tagging. That's going to be a big thing. We'll talk about that a little bit in the PR as well, but just make sure that you're using your hashtags and your tagging. I will link both of those videos down below. Those are kind of just like the main things that I want to tell you guys in this video, but I have so many other tips. If you guys want to check out those other videos, I will link them down below. Up next, I want to talk about how to make money on social media. As I said, this is my full-time job now, and I want to talk to you guys a little bit about how that works. How do you start making money? When do you start making money? That sort of thing. I think the first time that I got paid for something on Instagram, I had right around 2,000 to 3,000 followers. I don't think that you need this massive audience in order to start getting paid. I think a lot of people have a misconception with that, in that you have to have, 100,000 followers to start getting paid. That's not true. As long as you are producing quality content, brands will pay you to promote their products. So how you do get paid on Instagram and for YouTube is essentially you are creating an ad for a company. So companies will come to me and they'll be like, hey, I have this new foundation. We really want you to do a video reviewing it, a dedicated video showing application. They give you different like tips and bullet points that you want to hit in that video. I'll come back to them and be like, great, I'd love to work together. Here is my rate sheet. So a rate sheet is something that you should be having, and basically what it is it's gonna break down every single rate that you have for a project. So say you want to do a dedicated YouTube video, you would have a rate for that. A integrated YouTube video, say I was just mentioning the product for a few minutes, you would have something for that. An Instagram post, you would have a set price for that. Stories, things like that, you can have all in your rate sheet. You can just send it right to the brand and then they will let you know. Sometimes another good way to word it too is to be like, great, I'd love to work together. What's your budget for this project? And then they can come back at you and be like, oh, we don't really have a budget. And then you can kind of tell them like, oh, this is what I normally charge. Or they might say, oh, we have a budget of X amount of dollars, and then you can kind of work from there. Just know that it's never like a set thing. Like 9 times out of 10, they're not gonna be like, yeah, great, like let me pay you that full amount. A lot of times it's just like a back and forth. Pretty much you're just gonna be negotiating like the terms, the prices, how long it's gonna take you to produce something. Always make sure you're reading through the contracts. If a brand is not sending you a contract, you should be giving them a contract. Always make sure you have something signed. That way you don't get screwed over. I've had that happen to me early on, where companies will say, I'll pay you an X amount to do something. I did it and then they didn't pay me. So always make sure you have a contract, you have something in writing, and you don't post anything until you have payment. If you don't have a contract in place, you should be getting payment before you are posting. That way you're not getting like screwed over in the end. So if you aren't getting a lot of brand deals like in your inbox and things, you can actually find different websites and different pages that you can use to actually find brands that are looking to collaborate with influencers. And I'll tell you guys a few of the ones that I use. I'll also put them on the screen. So I use a lot Aspire. I feel like that one's really nice, Aspire. I also use obviously Socialix. I use Brand SNOB. Those are some of the few that I use. Like I said, I'll have them on the screen for you guys. I'll also link them down below. And pretty much what those are is the brands will just be on there. They'll say, hey, I'm looking for someone to review this lipstick. This is what we need you to do. You will essentially write them a proposal. You'll say, hey, I'd love to work with you. Here is my rate. Here's what I'd be willing to do. I'm so excited, that sort of thing. And then they'll either approve you or they'll deny you. Sometimes they don't even get back with you. You might want to like follow up. And sometimes even if you do follow up, they still might not get back with you. So again, it could be a back and forth, but you want to make sure that you are kind of putting yourself out there. You're trying. And if you do want to continuously get paid, that is something that you can do. I just want to throw in there, like I said, to know your worth. And another way to find that out is there are a few tools that you can use that will help you kind of figure out like how much you should be charging. I know that the Aspire actually has prices on there. If you do get accepted to their website, they have like a tool that actually shows you what they think you should be charging per post based upon your analytics and engagement and things like that. But there are other tools that you can use. You can actually just Google it. I know there's quite a few that if you put in like your accounts and such, it'll actually tell you like what what you should be charging. I know if you just Google it as well, there are different like articles and things that can help you decide what to charge as well. I know for me, it was kind of like trial and error, just kind of seeing what I could get, what I couldn't get sort of thing. And you'll figure that out too. I feel like whenever you find that too many people are saying yes to you, then you should be upping your charges. That's what I found, that if too many people are like, yeah, sure, and they agree right away, then more than likely you are charging too little. Keep in mind that these brands will underpay you. They don't care if you're saying like, oh, I'm only gonna charge $10 for this post and you could be charging $100. They're gonna pay you that $10. They're not gonna tell you like, hey, you're way undercharging, you know? So just kind of figure out what works for you. It's kind of trial and error, and also use those tools that can help you as well. Next, I wanna go ahead and talk about PR lists. I know a lot of you guys are always asking, how do you get on PR lists? What do you do to get on PR lists? Things like that. If you do not know what a PR list is, it is basically a list that brands will have to where they will send you new makeup launches essentially for free so that you can test out the products, you can review them. Something to keep in mind with PR though is these brands are sending it to you for a reason. They want you to post about these products. Essentially, they are not just sending it to you just for giggles or because it's fun. They're sending it to you because they want you to promote this product for them. You are not in any way obligated to post for them. You don't have to post the PR when you get it. They're pretty much just sending it to you in hopes that you will post about it. So when it does come to PR lists, how to get on them and things like that, basically the best advice that I have for you, and I know this is probably not going to be like the most like unique thing ever, the best advice that I have for you guys on this subject is to tag the heck out of these brands. Use their products. Pretty much what I have found that works best for me is actually just using the brand's products and promoting them. So pretty much I will go on, say I want to get on Wet n Wild's PR list. This actually worked for me, is I did a whole dedicated video to Wet n Wild. I used just Wet n Wild in that video. The next video used a palette from them. The next video I used their lipstick. I pretty much used the heck out of Wet n Wild for weeks and weeks and months, and finally they saw me and they sent me a message and said, hey, we'd love to add you to the PR list. So I pretty much just use the heck out of their products so that they saw me. They're always going to see you. That's the thing. No matter how small you are, no matter how large you are, if you are tagging them, if you are consistently using their products, they're going to see you. They're going to see you in those hashtags. They're going to see you in the tags. So pretty much my best advice, I know it's not going to be, like I said, this aha moment, but pretty much just tag them. Use their products. Say you want to get on Too Faced PR, use only Too Faced products for a minute, or use your favorite foundation in every single video. They're going to see that. I get a lot of questions like, when should I reach out to a brand, how to reach out to a brand, and honestly my best advice is what I said. Just be tagging them, be using their products. Actually reaching out, I could probably count on my hands probably less than 10 times that has actually worked for me. And also, like, people I know haven't really had the best luck with that either. I don't think that reaching out is necessarily the only way to get on PR lists. Yes, maybe it can help if you have the direct contacts, or even if you just like email their info thing. It has worked and it does work for some people, but I think the best option is to actually get them to see you, to want to add you. You have value to give. You are using their products. You love their products. You're already promoting them, so why wouldn't they want to give you the new stuff so then you can promote them even more, you know? I don't think that reaching out necessarily is the only option when it comes to PR. I do think that, however, sometimes it does work, and for that you can just find the email of the brand. Sometimes you can go on different websites, LinkedIn and things, and find like their PR person. I have never went to those lengths. Also, something that really helps too is to actually go to an event that would have people there. I know Gen Beauty, I haven't really heard if that's like coming back, but that was a big help for me in actually meeting like the PR people in person. I think that that's a big help, and to kind of get a little bit of a relationship going with them, and then to email them, and then they're a little bit more willing to add you to PR lists. That's really been helpful for me, like Gen Beauty. I know you can go to like IMATS, BeautyCon, things like that, and just kind of get that one-on-one interaction with the brand reps, and then they're more likely to add you to a PR as well if they know you and they've kind of met you in person. So that's another tip that you could do. If that is something that you can do, or something that's accessible to you, you could always do that. Bring your business cards and kind of just give them that, give them your spiel, tell them what your page is about and things like that. That has also helped me. But my main tip is to just tag the heck out of them. Honestly, annoy them. Don't annoy them, but pretty much annoy them until they see you. And if they're commenting on your pictures, great. Also, remember that you might not be a perfect fit for every single brand. Obviously, they are looking for a certain thing when they're looking to put people on the PR list. Don't get discouraged though if you are not getting on them right away or it's taking a long time, you're only on one or two. Just don't remember that like makeup isn't everything, and if you are getting into this to just get free makeup, then you probably are not gonna last, because I feel like the people that last and the people that love this are the people that actually love creating the content and aren't just looking for the paycheck, or they aren't looking for the free makeup. They're really just doing this because they have a passion for it. And if you decide over time like you're only doing this to get free makeup, or you don't really enjoy it and you're just doing it to get paid, then maybe you just need to decide, reevaluate and decide if this is something that you do really want to continue to do, because it is so much work. Okay, and then I want to talk about my camera for a second. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this because again, I do have videos on this as well. So I'm just going to tell you guys, I use a Canon 80D to film all of my Instagram videos, all of my YouTube videos. The lens that I do have is a Sigma 18 by 35 millimeter lens. That is what I use on my Canon. So I just have a Canon 80D as a base, and then the lens that I use. The camera settings, I often get asked, what are my camera settings? What camera settings do I use? I'm going to put a picture on the screen of my exact settings that I'm currently using. Pretty much you have to find what works best for you though. It's not going to be, you're not going to be able to put in my same settings and it's going to work in your area, because your lighting is going to be different. You might have a different camera. It's just going to depend. You have to kind of figure out what works best for you. You're going to tinker with it, things like that. I have a YouTube page that I reference. They have a video on Canons, and I feel like for me it's been super helpful. It's called Think Media TV. They basically have a ton of video, hundreds and hundreds of videos on different cameras, different lighting. They have mic videos, they have videos on how to grow, things like that, and they're a super helpful channel. I will link them down below as well, but I found their video talking about Canon cameras and kind of how to work with your settings, the best settings and things like that. And as soon as I found that video, I kind of understood a little bit more like what my settings should be, how to figure out what works for me. So I'd recommend just like Googling even the camera that you have and just like how to find the best settings for this. And then it'll kind of walk you through like what your aperture should be, what the shutter speed should be, and things like that. Just kind of figure out what works best for you with the lighting that you do have. The lights that I use is I have a ring light in front of me. I have two soft boxes on side of me. I have one on top of me, and then I have a little light here in the back that I use to light the background up. I do have a video again on my entire setup that I will have linked down below as well if you are curious to see it all like in action and kind of what it looks like. The backdrops that I use are just a paper backdrop, and I buy them off Amazon. They're just seamless paper backdrops. I find that those are easiest for me, and then I have just like a stand that I put them on. I will have that one linked down below to the Amazon store, to where I have all of the products that I use. My lights are linked there, my camera, everything like that. And then for my photos, this is the camera that I use right here. It's just a Sony A5000. It has the flip cam on here so that you can actually see yourself. I love this camera. I feel like it's so nice for taking like Instagram pictures. I really enjoy it. I also got this little tripod thing from Amazon that I put on it, so I actually hold that instead of holding the actual camera. I feel like that's super helpful as well. So this is what I use to take my Instagram pictures, and then I use my Canon for my videos. And then for editing, I use Final Cut Pro 10 to edit all of my videos. And for like editing photos, I use Facetune, and then also Visco are the two apps that I use to just go in and slightly, sometimes too much, edit my photos. So that is what I use for that. That is pretty much all of the tips that I do have. I want to, again, link all of those videos down below, so make sure you check the description box of this video for different videos that can kind of help you on how to grow. Also, camera, lighting, all of that will be down in those videos as well. I hope you guys found this helpful. Please leave any other questions that you have down in the comment section. Remember to have fun with it. If you are in social media, it is such a fun space. Remember to not get too stressed out. Don't let the negativity get to you, and to just have fun with it. I hope you guys did enjoy this one, and give it a thumbs up if you did. Also, don't forget to subscribe before you go, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, friends.